you, Mama. I love you. 1, 2, 1.
Yvonne Teo Borsay, and this is about the key to unlocking the best in you, the secret to life. How are you doing?
Good afternoon to you.
Are you right? I know, it's so weird. We're on the other side of the world.
Okay, that was a good suggestion of yours to do it this time of the morning because I'm an early riser, so that's great.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for joining me and taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you are a very busy woman.
Well, yes, I think maybe I ought to unbusy myself. I say that all the time, but it never seems to happen. You know what that's like.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I just got back from California yesterday.
Oh, God.
We had a wedding to do and all that stuff, but that smog there really gets there. And I'm in Las Vegas, and you would think there's smog here, but there's not.
No, it's one place I haven't been.
Oh.
In Vegas. I've traveled the world a bit, but no, I haven't been to your city.
Oh, you got to come. And I want to come there, too. Absolutely haven't been there yet either, Australia.
Oh, Australia's great, and Melbourne is absolutely my favourite city, of course.
Of course. I've heard a lot about it, so thank you for sending me your book. Oh my gosh, it's an amazing book. I just love it. Now, I'm not completely finished. I got to here. right to there, almost.
Oh, well, look, it's not a book that you read and you put on the shelf. It is a companion book, and it's a practical tool book.
Yes.
People have used it, the work in it that is my work for over 27 years, and people keep using it year after year, and that's really why I decided to publish it.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, because it is written very well and easy to understand, for a lot of people.
Simple language.
I'm sorry?
Simple language.
Simple language, yeah. Yeah, that's what you want to keep it simple so people understand it. And then I always like your little poems that you have in there, and it looks like a wind tunnel.
I know, that's a smart. For me, it's probably one of the best graphics to show how our thoughts affect our external experiences.
Yeah.
It's so clear, doesn't it?
It is. It's very clear. And, in my book, I wrote a book called Place 33, right? And I talk about a spiral, but it's turned this way. It's turned this way.
And most of them are. But when I was originally given, downloaded that spiral many, many years ago, this was the way it was downloaded for me. With heaviness being the heaviness of our emotions being that solid part at the bottom, and as we spiral up, we become lighter and lighter and lighter, and that's really the idea of having.
That makes sense. Yes, that makes sense. Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, let's start with first of all, let's see. Okay, I like how you talk about your reality is a small space. It's not the whole world,
Oh, look, we get so caught up in the troubles of the world, and then we feel overwhelmed and we feel powerless. Well,
Yeah.
of course, the people who create all the chaos want us to feel powerless,
Right.
and therefore, then we become more easy to manipulate, more easy to bring into fear. And so, for me, what I recognize is that everyone's reality is different.
Mm-hmm.
There is not one reality for one person on this earth, because the way we see the world is the way that we look through our eyes of experience.
Right.
But of course, the society and the media wants us to believe that there's only one reality, and that's what is presented to us through all the wonderful ways of connecting these days.
Yeah.
So when I say, look, take your power back, and the exercise you're talking about is where I create the blueprint for a new life.
Yes.
Is that choose what kind of a world you're going to live in, and your world only consists of, as far as your eyes can see right now, and I can see all the way to Las Vegas, so how good am I?
I know, right?
and then how much you can hear,
Mm-hmm.
what you bring into it. So it makes it controllable. It gives you back that power of, hey, that's not so difficult.
Yeah.
It's not so difficult.
True. It really does help when you just reduce it to not have to think about everybody else, even your family. Even their
Yeah.
lives
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah. And often if I'm working with clients in my office, I say to them, so right now, can you describe your world to me? And then instantly you see their eyes go away from you and into their head, and they're looking outside of where they're at. And they describe, my work's this, my family's that. And I'm going, but they're not here. Right now, your world consists of you and me in this room, and as far as you can see,
Right.
look up beyond the window, and the music in the background, and that's all your world is. And they go, oh, and the understanding that all we ever have is now.
Right. True. Yes.
We worry so much about the future, and I've got bad news for people. There is not one. We don't have a future. When we get there, it becomes now. So future is, an imaginary thing.
Non-existent. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And like I could think of you're in tomorrow because you're in Thursday, right?
I know.
And tomorrow never comes. So how's that working?
But hey, my tomorrow for you, your tomorrow, it's great for me. I'm here now.
Yeah.
And that makes it absolutely, that's a great point, because what is for you tomorrow is for me now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really silly, to get hung up about it.
Right. And then you start you're thinking of the past, and you're thinking of the future. And when you're thinking of the now, you have to be 100% in the now, right?
Yeah. And if you are constantly, and the other thing is that if you're wanting to create your future, use past experiences, all that you do is repeat them. And so you just keep going around in circles. And so for me, it's this, we have this fear of the unknown, but all the wonder of life lives in the unknown.
Yes.
So, I really encourage people to live.
Right.
And find out what it's like. It's wonderful.
And so why do you think people have that fear of the unknown? They because of living in the past, maybe, or because they're thinking what's going to happen.
I think it's conditioning.
Conditioning. Okay.
Conditioning. I will say that we are an end product of other people's fears and their conditioning. So we're not really. People say, this is who I am, and I say, no, this is who you've become as a result of what you've learned. So, I think that it's just accumulative. If somebody else is afraid of what's happening next, we do it to our children. Oh, darling, be careful. Don't do this and don't do that. Mm-hmm. So, and we look for guarantees.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We look for guarantees. We have this fear of not being safe. And that's all because we actually are never taught who we are and how amazingly powerful we are.
Right, right. And that's what I want, that's what my whole awakening is all about. And yours is to get people to start learning. This is how we have to learn. Not the old way of thinking, the new way.
We have to come home to who we really are. And that's really where humanity is moving towards, no matter how hard the other part of the world's trying to stop us. But it's like stopping a freight train. It's impossible. We're on our way. We just have to keep doing it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then they keep, somehow there's these blocks that keep coming up though, but you just have to focus and don't let it get to you, because it easily is through your programming, like you said.
Well, Sherilyn, one of the things that I really, there's a whole lot of chaos apparently going on in Australia and the world. I don't know. I don't listen to the news. I don't read newspapers.
Yeah.
But you hear little bits, and they say, "Oh, look, this is happening and that's happening." I'm going, but it's not happening in my world.
Right. Right.
And I know that people then think you're being naive and all of that, but hey, I lived through 2 wars before I was 12. I don't need another one. You want to go to war? Do it on your own time. Do not come to my house.
Right. I know. I read that about you. You had an interesting childhood where you were a part of the war. That's tough. That's tough.
Well, yes and no. I mean, yes, it seems tough, but now, and I look at life now as an apprenticeship, and I think that all these things that I went through, and that you would have gone, and everyone, they're an apprenticeship to what's possible for you, rather than looking at it as something bad that happened to you. If you can embrace all of your challenges and go, yeah, but I survived them, and I'm here.
Right.
And what have I learned from it, and how can I go forward to be more as a result of that?
Absolutely. So see, if people, when they read your book, they'll see what you've went through. They their life is like a piece of cake. No, everybody has different challenges.
Absolutely. And you know what? I do believe that we all come with the strength within us to cope with those challenges and to grow from them.
Yes.
How everything's one. Can you tell me again? Are you the source?